Commissioner Ellis,
Here.
Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Lark,
Present.
Commissioner Rogers, Commissioner Ruddy, Commissioner Sweeney is not here. Commissioner DeBonda, Commissioner Egloff. Isn't Doc on the phone?
Egloff's here. I finally got unmuted.
Thanks, Doc. The only one that's not is Commissioner Sweeney is not in attendance today. And I'm sure Commissioner DeBonda will join.
Yeah. All right, I'll call the meeting to order. I bring you greetings from Secretary Redding, who's in Washington, D.C. today. You are stuck with me. Deputy Secretary Cheryl Cook. We did have an executive session this morning to go over some business with legal counsel. And can I just confirm that we did have properly sunshine this meeting with all the announcements that needed to be made, having been made?
Yes, that is correct, Madam Chair.
All right, well, let's dig into the May 30th meeting minutes. They're in your binder. Have you all had a chance to look at them? And if so, is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Lark. Second from Commissioner Ellis. Any questions, discussion, corrections, issues of any kind? All right, hearing none, all in favor of approval, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We have minutes. I understand there may be an issue with the June minutes that we need
Correct,
to
Madam Chair.
hold off until next month to approve those. Is there a motion to table? Thank you, Commissioner Lark. Is there a second? Thank you, Commissioner Ellis. Yes.
Thank you.
All in favor of tabling the June minutes until our August meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Commissioner. We recognize that Commissioner DeBonda has joined us, so we have a full house today. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time. For those of you in the room, at least we get to sit in air conditioning. I'm freezing. I don't know about you. Let's turn to our presentations, starting with the financial report. Tracy Gottwald, our Chief Financial Officer. I thought maybe you brought Jason to have a little extra muscle.
Brought Jason because I'm just getting back from vacation. And so if we have a lot of budget questions, he's here to back me up. I'm not sure I'm 100% back up to speed. So good afternoon, Deputy Secretary Cook and Commissioners. Looking at the June 30th, 2023 financial statements and starting out with the racing fund balance. The beginning balance for the month of June was $6,172,000. We had revenue of $2,175,000, expenditures of $808,000, bringing the ending cash balance to $7,539,000. There is a calculation for the year-end distribution. We'll go over that when we complete the rest of the review of the financial statements. Looking at the Racehorse Commission, expenditures and revenue for the month of June. The revenue was $1,273,000. Personnel was $422,000. Operating expenditures were $73,000, bringing the total expenditures for the month to $494,000. Moving on to testing, the revenue was $901,000. Personnel expenditures were $368,000. Operating expenditures were a negative $380,000, and that was because of an invoice being backed out for UPenn because of an equipment purchase that needed to be handled differently. So there will be a resubmission of the invoice that will correct that. But then that allowed the total expenditures to be only $12,000. For promotion, there was no revenue in the month of June, and there was expenditures of $315,000. Looking at the June 30th, 2023 expenditures versus the June 30th, 2022 expenditures and in revenues, There was an increase in revenue of 1%. Personnel had no percentage increase, really. It was flatlined. Looking at operating, there's a 32% increase. That is largely, again, driven by the increase in the UPenn contract. And the offsetting amounts that would correspond with that would be the contracted services and the laboratory supplies, since they are now included in the UPenn contract. And I believe we talked about the increase in the IT expenditures last month. And then the remaining financial statements are for the restricted funds. Are there any questions in regards to the actual financial statements? Okay, then moving on to the Act 114 distribution for the year ended June 30th, 2023. We show here the beginning cash balance, the prior year Act 114 distribution, the revenue and the expenditures, which brings the ending cash balance to $7,538,869, which agrees with your June 30th financial statement for your fund balance. Looking at the outstanding commitments as of June 30th, there was $1,381,625. Subtracting that off, it brings the amount to be distributed to $6,157,244. Following the Act 114 distribution calculation, breeders would get $1,539,311. Sire stakes would also get $1,539,311. Testing would retain the balance of $3,078,622, bringing that total distribution amount to equal the amount of funding available. With the budget impasse, we will not be making that distribution until the budget is passed, though. Is there any questions in regards to the distribution calculation? Okay, then I'm going to open myself up for a can of worms. Any questions in regards to the budget impasse? Hopefully Tom took care of them all, so.
Looks like you're on the-
Jason coached him well. Not me, Jason, so thank you, Jason, but I'm getting off that easy. Thank you.
Any questions, Tracy, at all?
Thank you very much.
You'd like Thank you, Tracy. All right, I'll turn things over to Tom here for the monthly HISA HIWU status report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On HISA and HIWU, on the contract, there is one contract, lab services, that's not finalized. The LOI, the 60-day LOI was extended. Legal George worked with HIWU to resolve a couple of the differences. It's signed by the secretary and the chief legal counsel. It's being up the food chain to OGC and AG, and we'll see what happens with that. Just a quick litigation update. The major litigation out there right now is the Fifth Circuit Court. Briefs are due at the beginning of August. Oral arguments are due the first week of October. And then best guess, anticipate some kind of decision before the end of the year. On the ground, the commission wanted staff to run point on this, which they have. Kudos to your stewards, your vets, your livestock workers, and your managers. They've done a good job through some tumultuous times. And they're keeping racing. The integrity and equine health and welfare at the top of the chain. So that pretty much, Madam Chair, is HISA HIWU in a nutshell.
Thanks, Tom. You want to roll into the marketing and promotional
Sure.
allocations?
As normal course of action in July, the statute provides funding for the industry for marketing and promotions. Just a couple general comments. The calculated percentage to the grantees was based on gross terminal slot revenue. This has been the agreed upon method for the last 6-7 years. This year, the 1% equated to $1,982,000. It's down about 100,000 from a year ago, about 4.6%. We did the calculation, working it out the same as we've had in the past. We've held back 100,000 for the fares. If you remember, each fare can get reimbursed up to $5,000. There is 20 fares that are eligible, so that would be your 100 grand if everyone put the full amount and each one submitted. The other 20,000 we held is for the commission. If they want to do something for the industry at the farm show or so on, if we get to the end of next year, like we've done in the past, we'll reallocate it out to someone in the industry if it's there. As Tracy said, and I will reiterate, until the budget is resolved, this money is not going out. I'm going to talk to each of the stakeholders and tell them the numbers, if this commission approves it, the numbers today, so they can pull their business plan and budget together. We can go through that part of the process, so when the funds are available, you can access them. The other point is when you get to administrative actions, there's going to be motions to approve these amounts. We're going to do them individually, one by one, as we've done in the past. So that pretty much is the presentation, Madam Chair.
Any questions for Tom? Okay, let's turn to our administrative.
Tom,
Oh,
I have a question.
go
This
ahead.
is Brian Sanfratello, SANFRATELLO. Tom, since this money is coming from the Racehorse Development Trust Fund, which is a separate account, why is it being held up for the budget? Is that just something that they told you?
The difference is with, let's take your restricted funds, your 3 restricted funds, that for the standardbred breeders, the thoroughbred breeders, and the sire stakes program. Those funds are being deposited from the Racehorse Development Fund directly into your accounts, which you have control over. This money goes through the commission first. So because it comes from the commission to be allocated out, we need spending authority to do that. The commission right now does not have spending authority to do that. That's the difference, Brian.
Okay, thank you.
Ready, Madam Chair?
Yes, I am. That's
All right, so I will go item by item. Motion, I need a motion. The commission needs a motion to approve the 23-24 marketing promotional fund allocation and distribution for the PA Horse Breeders Association in the amount of $88,827, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Lark. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Commissioner Reddy. Any discussion on this? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Are there any abstentions?
I'm sorry, are there any abstentions?
I just forgot to say, yeah.
Motion passes. Standardbred.
Okay, the next item is a motion to approve the marketing and promotions for the Standardbred Horse Breeders Association in the amount of $66,438.
So moved, Commissioner Lark.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Reddy. Questions or discussion on this one? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes.
The next one is a motion to approve the 23-24 marketing and promotion fund allocation and distribution for the PTHA in the amount of $271,494.
There a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Rogers. Is there a second? Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Questions or discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes.
The next is a motion, Madam Chair, for the HBPA, which represents,
Excuse me, I didn't get that in. I no longer am an officer of the PTHA. So, because I still represent the horsemen on this commission, I'm going to abstain from that vote.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Commissioner Dunda. We'll clarify that for the record. Coming back to HBPA,
in the amount of $172,537.
thank you. Is there a motion to approve? Thank you, Commissioner Reddy. Is there a second?
Commissioner Lark.
Thank you, Commissioner Lark. Questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
I'll abstain on that one also, please, as Commissioner DeBunda.
Good enough. Thank you, sir. Let's see. All right, motion passes.
The next
PHHA.
The next motion is the PHHA in the amount of $219,880.
Being a member of the PHHA, I abstain on this one.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Jones and Commissioner Ellis. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions beyond Commissioner Brenheiser?
Egloff, abstain.
Thank you, Commissioner Egloff. Motion passes.
The next one is for the MSOA at the Meadows in the amount of $112,230.
So moved, Commissioner Lark.
Thank you, Commissioner Lark. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Reddy. Questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Being a member of the MSOA, I abstain.
Any abstentions beyond Commissioner Brenheiser? Motion passes.
The final one in this category is the PHRA funds for the statewide branding campaigns in the amount of $931,406.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Ellis. Thank you, Commissioner Rogers, for the second. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions on this one? Motion passes.
Ready to roll.
Rock on.
The next is a motion to approve simulcast calendars for August 2023 for the harness tracks, Harrah's, Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs and the Meadows, Madam Chair.
So moved, Commissioner Lark.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, whoever that was.
There.
Thank you, Commissioner Brennan. Is there? Didn't look up fast enough. Questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes.
The next is a motion to approve the simulcast calendars for August 2023 for Parks, Penn National, and Presque Isle Downs.
I'll make such a motion, please.
Thank you, Commissioner DeBunda. Is there a second?
Second.
I think I heard Michelle first. Commissioner Reddy, thank you. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes.
We need a motion to ratify the Thoroughbred Bureau Director's approval for Penn National to modify post times on August 25th and September 15th of 2023 to 4 p.m. and change the wagering format for the 7 race cards and move the high 5 to race 3 and the Penn pick 5 to race 2, Madam Chair.
There a motion
I'll
to
make
approve?
such a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner DeBunda. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes.
The next motion is to ratify the Thoroughbred Bureau Director's approval for parks to export their signal to bet makers in New Jersey for fixed odds wagering, Madam Chair.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Is there a second?
Commissioner Lark.
Thank you, Commissioner Lark. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes.
The final motion, Madam Chair, is to ratify the Thoroughbred Bureau Director's approval for Penn National to export their signal to bet makers in New Jersey for fixed odds wagering, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Tom. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Commissioner Lark.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Brett. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. All right, that brings us to the adjudication section. We'll turn it over to Mr. Augusto.
Thank you, Chairman. This matter arises under the Racehorse Industry Reform Act and is before the Pennsylvania Racing Commission on an appeal filed by licensed owner Joseph Holloway. By ruling number 2118M, dated December 29, 2021, the Board of Judges of the Meadows suspended the trainer license of Joseph Holloway for 15 days, fined him $500, and disqualified the purse. The judge's decision was based upon a determination that the horse Perfect Sting, owned by appellant, was found to contain testosterone class 3 at a level of 3,765 picograms per milliliter, a class 3 violation. A split sample confirmed the presence of testosterone in the amount of 3,635 picograms. On January 3rd, 2022, appellant appealed and requested a stay, which was granted. An initial hearing was scheduled for May 17th, 2022. After significant delays and continuances, hearings on this matter were conducted October 17th, 2022, and November 10th, 2022, respectively. The hearing officer received the final transcript on December 15th, 2022. The parties requested briefing in this matter, which were filed on March 17th, 2023. The record was officially closed on March 20th, 2023, and this matter is now ready for disposition before this commission. You've now had an opportunity to review the transcript and exhibits of record, including the briefs of the various parties and the proposed adjudication from the hearing officer. The following order may be taken as a motion. And now, this 25th day of July, 2023, upon consideration of the testimony and exhibits of record, including the briefs of the parties, ruling number 2118M, dated December 29th, 2021, issued by the Meadows Board of Judges, imposing sanctions upon appellant Joseph Holloway, is hereby affirmed in all respects. That could be a motion.
So moved, Commissioner Lark.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there a second? Thank you, Commissioner Ellis. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain, Egloff.
Thank you, Commissioner Egloff. All motion approved. Tom, oh no, wait, Tony, it's your turn. Turn it over to you to walk us through the industry reports.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before I go to industry reports, we have Russell Williams on with us, joining us by teams. Last week, the secretary was at Hanover Shoe Farms to acknowledge the 1,700 acres that went into farmland preservation, and Russell was kind enough to join us today to talk about it a little bit. So Russell, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tony. It's RUSSELLWILLIAMS. And I'm here from Hanover Shoe Farms today. Pennsylvania has a statutory scheme under which the development rights can be acquired from land, and the purpose of it clearly is to preserve agricultural parcels across the Commonwealth. We were able to, after 2 years of work, preserve the total of 11 farms, or 1,785 acres, just about 1,800 acres. These are farms, many of which we've owned for almost 100 years. So they're a part of the landscape. And of course, we're blessed to have prime soils in our area. So the soil is pretty good as well. We have an average horse population of 900, which includes over 100 retired brood mares who are also a pretty solid feature of the landscape. And this was brought about through the cooperation of not just the landowner, but also federal, state, county, and township authorities who were able to organize the funding and coordinate the legal work to get this done. In our area, we're about 8 miles from the Maryland border. So we're an hour from Baltimore and an hour and 3/4 from Washington. So we are under extra development pressure in our area. And because of Pennsylvania's spot zoning practices, there's always residential development springing up in our midst. But we were able, with these 11 parcels, to strategically preserve, in connection with other preserved land, an area of green space in Conewaga Township and in Union Township that will be permanently agricultural and will always have the open appearance of green space. So it was a very rewarding, satisfying project. In addition to the development pressure, we're under another threat, and I would be remiss if I didn't comment to the commission on this. In addition to the major litigation that Mr. Chukas described to you, there's another piece of major litigation. The Hanover Shoe Farms is plaintiff in a case. We're preparing a petition for certiorari to the U.S. Supreme Court. It's a parallel case to the one that's in the Fifth Circuit. We've already gotten through the Sixth Circuit. We're a little ahead of them in that regard. I certainly consider it major litigation when I look at the legal bills that we pay. And if you're wondering why I would pay huge legal bills like that for something so wonderful appearing as HISA, fighting HISA, I've got to tell you that it's because I believe that HISA will put me out of business. HISA will end large breeding farms like the Hanover Shoe Farms, and I think you deserve to be aware of that. Luckily, we have another 1,800 acres that has not been preserved. It will be available for residential development if we need an exit strategy. And if we have to radically change our business model, we will be able to do so. But there are problems out there that need to be taken into account when you look at the activities of the participants in our industry. But getting back to a happier topic, you often hear, and the legislature as well, members of the racing industry extolling the virtues of our protection of green space. And when you have a preservation event like this, and we're not alone, but we just happen to be about the largest one so far, it demonstrates our commitment to that. We're not just giving lip service to our position in agriculture and our preservation of green space. We're willing to commit to keeping it that way forever. So thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Russell, this is Sal DeBunda. I'm not a standardbred owner, but I want to thank you for helping to preserve that kind of space in the Commonwealth. You've been you and your organization has been a long time involved in horse racing and sale of horses and breeding of horses in Pennsylvania. I want to thank you personally and the and your organization for the efforts they put into it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Sal.
Commissioner Brett, I want to applaud you also for your efforts for your farm and also for your efforts with this. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, Russ. I didn't have the mic on. I want to thank you for your efforts in preserving your farm and also your efforts with HISA, with your legislation that you're working on. Thank you so much.
Yeah, since farmland preservation is one of my bureaus, let me just add my thanks. So we have about 10% of the farmland in Pennsylvania preserved at this point in perpetuity in agriculture. Now we just need another generation of farmers who want to come in and farm that land, or we're going to have almost 700,000 acres of wheat. So no pressure, but appreciate as well the way Hanover Shoe Farms brings along the next generation and kind of keeps it all going. You're an inspiration across agriculture. Thank you.
I would echo those sentiments as well, both the Hanover Shoe Farms for the horse racing industry and also for the conservation.
Okay, thank you, Russell. We'll go on to the industry reports. I just asked that everybody spell their name for the benefit of the court stenographer in the room. We'll start out with Scott Lisher from the Meadows. Scott?
Thank you, Tony. My name's Scott Lisha, SCOTT, LIS is in Sam, HIA. Madam Chair, members of the commission, thank you for the time today. I briefly wanted to touch on our Meadows Pen Pick 4, the Crossbreed Pick 4, which you so graciously approved. We've had 2 runnings of it so far. The first one, we had some timing issues going into the first leg with our race ending and theirs starting. So we worked on that. We've alleviated those problems. Last week we got hit with a little bit of Mother Nature and Penn Nationals races came off the turf. But we're constantly tweaking. We're working on it. And Eric and I are both committed to see this at least through the next 2 weeks. We have a natural break on the 11th of August. Penn National is not racing. So we'll look at it and assess it from there. But we're doing some graphic tweaks this year to let people maybe better publicize it on the TV. But it's a work in progress, but we're taking a shot and seeing if we can build it a little bit. So I just wanted to first touch on that. Also, we had great eliminations this past weekend for the Adios, which is coming up this week. We saw a world record fall with It's My Show. We're expecting a great day. Looks like it might be a little warm, but it is summertime. We've got some local horses, trainer Norm Parker and Ron Burke, who seems to always be in these events everywhere, will be participating, and a great undercard. So we're really hoping to have a great day. We've done some work with our wagering format a little bit in that we're guaranteeing $170,000 in pools. 2 of those in conjunction with the MSOA and the USTA as part of their strategic wagering platform, which will put 13 of our races, the PPs, on the USTA website, which will definitely get our product out there. So we've really tried to focus internally on the wagering aspect. We'll have, in conjunction with the live stream that the MSOA does, again, this year we're partnering it with our show. We'll have Gabe Pruitt, our announcer Jeff Siddick, Donnell Mock, Edison Hatter, Mike Probozzi, and Kevin Plaucha, all handicappers, all in their own right. Nahu Sports in the money. So we're hopeful that we can really push our handle and make it a big day, because at the end of the day, the first question anyone asks is, what did you handle? So that's our goal there. In conjunction, though, Ashley and her whole crew will be here. They're having a great presence for us, and we really appreciate it. They're bringing out the virtual bike. They're bringing influencers, social media influencers, to talk about fashion and fun and drinks. I think we'll have a wager warrior presence from them. We'll have Chris Gooden, who is also a social media influencer here, and our photographer will be putting out a lot of info and data and videos and photos throughout the day and afterwards. And just hoping to have a really nice day. Hope everyone who is interested can come out. We'd love to have as many of the commissioners come and visit and enjoy the day as well. So thank you.
Okay, Scott, I know how much preparation and hard work it is for you and your staff, so good luck with the adios this weekend.
Thank you.
Go to Mike Zollinger from Pocono. Mike?
Thank you, Tony. Commissioners, it's Mike, M-I-K-E, Zollinger, Z-U-L-L-I-N-G-E-R. So this past July 1st, we did our first camel and ostrich race day. It went well. We had a good crowd for, our first one. That was glad to see a lot of families and our kids out enjoying the day. So overall, it went good, and we look forward to maybe doing it again next year. And as of right now, we're preparing for our Sun Stake Saturday, which is August 19th, getting ready for that and festivities out on the apron. So I invite everybody to stop by for that. And right on cue today, the rain starts just as live racing begins. So that's all I have for this week.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Barry Brown from Harris. Barry?
Thanks, Tony. Barry Brown, B-A-R-R-Y-B-R-O-W-N. We concluded our month of June with a lot of excitement. Friday, June 30th, we had $1 million day. It was our first one of our season. Exciting for the staff, exciting for the horsemen. That was $1 million on Friday, June 30th. Racing 4 days a week currently. We'll continue that schedule through the end of August, and then we'll move into our fall schedule 3 days a week. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Barry. Joe Wilson from Parks. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Joe Wilson, Joewilson. We race today and tomorrow, and then we start our traditional summer break. So we'll have 3.5 weeks without live racing. We're doing a mandatory distribution of our Big Five pool tomorrow, so hopefully it doesn't get hit today. And it should be approaching about $500,000 for that. When we come back on the 21st, it's PA Day at the races, and the next day is the Smarty Jones Stakes, along with the Catherine Sophia, the Parks Dash, and the Salvatore M. de Bunda. So that's what we got coming up.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Eric Johnson from Penn National. Eric?
Thank you, Tony. It's Eric, E-R-I-C, Johnston, Johnston. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the commission for the approval of the changes that we requested. We really appreciate those. With the summer season, as you can imagine, competition for horses makes it very difficult, and then trying to meet the field size minimums for a high five wager is difficult to do without turf racing. So we had to do a little bit adjustments for those wagering programs, and hopefully through the rest of the summer, we should have no issues whatsoever. Just to reiterate on what Scott was saying about the Meadow Pen Pick 4, while we're trying to measure success, obviously, by what we actually handle on that one card, the one thing that we can't measure, and we'll see it hopefully over the next couple of weeks and into the future here, is what kind of attention do we bring to each other's card as the public is looking at it? Are there folks out there that are typically harness players looking at the thoroughbreds and vice versa? So hopefully we get more bang for our buck on that, and we continue the program. We'll see where it goes over the next couple of weeks. And as Scott mentioned, we'll have some conversations and then decide the future of it after we get done with the 4-week commitment. Like Mike up at Pocono, we had our ostrich and camel races here on Friday, July 7th. We had a huge crowd come out and had some of the nastiest thunderstorms that we've had here in a long time. But like Moses parting the Red Sea, right before the ostriches took the track, the rain stopped and everything was beautiful, and everybody came out of the building. Apron was elbow to elbow for the entire length of the stretch, and we had a great night. So we appreciate everybody that was out and worked with that. We appreciate, it was one of the first times that all the ostrich and all the camel jockeys actually made the course. Usually you lose 1 or 2 off the ostriches, but we had some great talented young ladies out there riding for us, and they all managed to stay on. So other than that, in August, our Fan Appreciation Day is coming up on August 18th. We'll have a hat giveaway to the first 400 fans coming out. And we have a bunch of food specials and some stuff for the kids to check out, petting zoos and the like. So if you're free on August 18th, we look forward to seeing y'all. Other than that, have a great week.
Okay, thank you, Eric. Matt Ennis from Presque Isle. Matt?
This is Matthew Ennis, Mattthew. Last name is spelled Ennis. We have a PA race yesterday of 100,000 and today of 100,000. So there's some excitement and some energy around here these last few days. Spent some time with Brian as well in the winner circle. And we are very impressive season so far. Churchill has take note as well. Our export handle through our first 30 days compared to prior years up approximately 5.6 million or 37%. So we're very proud about that. Our number of starters are up 11%. Our average number of starters per race is up a horse. And our on-site attendance is up 50%. So really off to a good start here at Presque Isle for our 2023 season. That's all I have, and thank you.
Okay, thanks, Matt. Mr. Beagle, PHHA, anything? No report. Okay. Unusual.
We want to hear from you.
Let's go to Kim Hankins, MSOA. Kim, are you on?
Kim will talk. Yes, I am, and good afternoon to everybody. Kim Hankins, Kim, last name Hankins, Hankins. Scott covered most of our upcoming Adios Day and did a fine job of it, but in addition to that, what he spoke of, on Friday evening, we have in their VIP tent that's there for Saturday. On Friday evening, we have a MSOA Owners Appreciation Night, and we'd like to invite staff or commissioners to come and join us on that evening also. We have family fun events that evening, so we should get a nice big crowd. There's some nice races that night, but Adios Day will be a great day. We have a very competitive field. Both of the horses that won their divisions of the eliminations went very fast times, and there's several in there that'll make it a very competitive race. Also, I just wanted to announce we have a new newspaper here in Washington County, and it is owned by one of the harness owners that's been a harness owner for 30, 40 years, Darrell Price. And I am going to send a digital copy to Tony if he would disperse it to the commissioners. We're pretty proud of what they've done, and the amount of coverage that they've done for the Adios this week is phenomenal. So just wanted to give you a little heads up about that, so we'll have it coming to you. And that is my report. Thank you.
Okay, Kim, I'll be sure to get that out to the commissioners, and let's hope the weather stays good for Saturday. We'll see you on the weekend. Okay. Todd Mosteller, HBPA. Todd, are you on? No, Todd. Jeff Matty, PTHA. Jeff?
Thanks, Tony. This is Jeff Matty, Jeff Matty, Matty. I'd just like to thank the commission for the grant fund allocation. Yesterday, we met with Jockey Cam. They will be out in full force on Pennsylvania Derby Day. So we very much look forward to having them here, giving our fans an opportunity to see the glimpse of two grade ones from a different perspective, that being on the back of a horse. So there's a lot of fun upcoming things we have planned, not only for Pennsylvania Derby Day, but for 2024, and we appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. How about Mike or Jim Simpson for the Standardbred readers?
This is Mike Simpson, Simpson. No report today.
Hey, Mike. And Brian Sanfratella. Brian?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and Commissioners. As Matt Ennis had mentioned, I'm up here at Presque Isle yesterday and today for our $200,000 stakes races. It was really hot up here yesterday. I think the temperature gauge went to about 81. So it's fairly pleasant up here. If you look at your handout, The first page is the transfers to the racehorse breeding fund. We are down year to date, about 158,000. So we're hanging in as far as that's concerned. Hopefully it'll pick up a little bit towards the end of the year. Our PA Day at the races is coming on August 21st at Parks. We have $1 million in purses. We have 7 $100,000 stakes races. Our first two-year-old Stallion Series PA sired, PA bred races will run that day at 5.5 furlongs. So it should be a fantastic day. I'd like to thank everyone involved in making it a great day. Jeff Matty, Bob Hutt from the Horsemen, and Joe Wilson and David Asajnak from the track. So it should be a fantastic day. We have a John Deere zero-turn mower, which is also part of your packet that the NTRA was nice enough to donate. We'll be selling chances on that for that day. Some of that money will go towards turning for home. So any questions?
Yeah, I do have one question. What are we doing with respect to, I know there's late nominations still to come, but are we finding that our nominations for the Pennsylvania Day at the races are up, down, or about the same so far that we've seen?
I think they're right now approximately the same. Just to give you an idea, as far as the two PA sired PA bred races were concerned, we had like 32 and 33 nominations for girls and boys, which is very good. Approximately the same as last year, even though the crop was less for this year. So I think, just to answer your question quickly, I think right now it's about the same.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Madam Chair, there was no public comment. Mike?
No public comment.
Okay. Thank you. That's
So
it.
that takes us up to the notice intervention.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is simply part of the commission's regulations relating to intervention. When the commission receives certain applications or petitions seeking authorization and permission and or licensure to engage in certain license racing activities, the commission can publish notice of these matters either in the bulletin or provide notice in the commission meeting. So in accordance with that, we have received, the commission notifies the general public that it has received an SPMO application from First Technology LLC. The commission docket number is 2023-10, and this is for an SPMO license application. This notice was also published in the Pennsylvania Bulletin. The commission also received a change of ownership application, or rather petition, from FBG Enterprises OpCo LLC, also known as Fanatics Holdings, Inc. They seek to purchase the SPMO presently being held by PointsBet Racing LLC, which does business as Premier Turf Club LLC. Under Section 7 PA Codes, strike that. Under 7 PA Code, Section 179.17 B and E of the Commission's regulatory procedures, persons interested in intervening in the previously listed matters may file a petition to intervene with the Commission within 30 days of the publication of this notice. That is it.
Before I ask for the motion to adjourn, I'll just note that our next public meeting will be Tuesday, August 29th, back here in room 309 or on Microsoft Teams. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Lark. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Ellis, and everybody said yes. Safe travels, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy your afternoons.